I'm here with Mark Challinor, European Director on the International Board of the International News Media Marketing Association, and I'm garnering his views on the sort of future of media and how it works in a sort of mobile and online world. So Mark, there's been a lot of talk, particularly at Mobile World Congress back in February, that the traditional news media, in print particularly, is dead. Is this something you agree with?
Far from it. I think that that view has been formed by many people because newspapers have been slow to adapt maybe to a new digital world, but things are changing, and now things are changing. Things will start to change rather fast. It's taken a while to change cultures, mentality, getting the right people in to drive the business forward, and that's happening now. So I think what you'll see is newspapers will become, for example, less traditional media in the way they portray themselves. Instead, now it'll be more about being a multimedia company with multi-platforms, which would include things like online and mobile.
Okay, what about sort of Rupert Murdoch's sort of idea that all these online content certainly will be sort of paywall protected? I mean, is that the sort of way to generate revenue? I mean, is that sort of?
I think it's part of the way. I don't think it's solely the way. I do believe that Murdoch has a great brain, of course, and I don't think he'd say these things flippantly. He'll have all his entire news corporation geniuses working on how it's going to work practically. So I do believe that this will work, but it needs to work allowing for relevance, perception of value to an audience. So I do believe you'll see paywalls, but I think you'll also see a mix of various creative ideas, which is repurposing and repackaging content that newspapers already have in the future. So I can think of some examples. There was recently a case of a Polish newspaper called a Gazeta. It's a national newspaper in Poland, and what they've done as one example, they've had journalists going on a slimming campaign, and it was all about weight loss, using their existing resource of the journalists, of course. And what the whole campaign over a number of weeks did was allow them to repurpose content for their audience. So readers could follow this online daily, almost like a reality show, and they got the chance to buy information about weight loss, weight gain, or whatever that might be, how to keep fit. They were to buy content which was already in the newspaper archives, but it was repackaged as part of this campaign. That was done then at the newsstand, where you were able to buy books and publications which were relevant to it. You were then able to go to supermarket chains who supported the campaign in exchange for publicity, of course, where they would actually offer you particular products within the supermarket which were all attributed to the weight loss campaign. So the whole thing was then sponsored by a number of gyms and fitness products, etc., etc. So what they did really was create a whole new business model and a whole new revenue generation of about £500,000 on one campaign, which was revenue they didn't get before. And it only happened because they were using existing resource. They had people to source the offers already who were doing the promotional work in the newspaper. They were using editorial guys who were happy for the publicity for themselves and to be the heroes in the paper and online, etc. So they didn't really take a great deal of effort with any extra main resource to generate a whole new world for themselves. So that's just one example. I can think of another one of the Toronto Star newspaper in Canada, where they are actually looking to look at the niche that is the Toronto Maple Leafs ice hockey team. And what they're doing there is repurposing content so that you'll pay for subscription to get everything that you want about the Maple Leafs. It's stuff they already had in their archives, but it's just, again, creating what seems to be something of value and a relevance of perceived value to the audience, and something which is good for that niche, if you like, within the newspaper. So they're finding new ways and creative ways to drive new revenues, is the bottom line.
So some of these revenues are coming from charging consumers incremental amounts for sort of repurposed content.
Yes.
You must also have revenue possibilities and potential through what they can then offer to advertisers and sponsors. Is that another important sort of side of this?
Well, I think what's happening now is a lot of the national papers in the UK are actually finding that some of their advertisers, main advertising agencies and the like, are now saying, don't just give us a buy more print ads schedule. what they want now, because they're being driven by their clients, is what can we do, for example, online, and what can we do on mobile. So we see now where schedules are actually incorporating mobile services as an add-on service to what they do, which helps the newspaper become more of this multi-channel, multi-faceted company. You'll find that what's happened, of course, in recent years, it's not about circulation anymore. It's not about buying 1 or 2 copies. It's about opportunities to see the messages for an advertiser, for example. So it's whether they say it on mobile, whether they say it on in print, online, or whatever. It's just giving them new opportunities. And that, of course, allows a newspaper to package up a whole advertising scenario, which will drive a new revenue stream too.
And how will this affect sort of how editorial and marketing and business development within sort of publishing companies change?
What we found is that, going back to our friends in Poland, the one I mentioned, what they said was a key thing in this was when they tried to put the editorial teams of the print edition and the online edition together, it didn't really work. It didn't drive any new creative thinking. There were people of a similar mindset to some extent. But what they've done instead is put the business, the commercial teams with the editorial teams, and what that's created is great ideas from the editorial guys, and then the business teams have said, well, there's a commercial application we can apply on top of this now. Hence the weight loss campaign I mentioned earlier. That's proving to be a good model rather than just the obvious thing of putting editorial teams together. So it's not those horizontal attachments anymore. It's looking at how you can carve the business off from different business areas. Okay.
And one last thing, what sort of opportunities does this present to sort of, I guess, what we traditionally refer to as telemedia companies? The phone, mobile, premium rate sort of people who offer services to the media. Are they going to make some sort of money from this as well?
I think they will, for sure, but I think what they need to do is be flexible. Flexible surviving, I think, is the key here, because there are a lot of niche companies in that telemedia world, and I think what they need to grasp in main is trying to become more of a solution provider rather than just a mobile marketing company or whatever they might happen to portray themselves as. Because I think the wider we can take our view and then taking those blinkers off in terms of how we drive our business models in the future, the more we can offer to our clients. And I think that's what clients want these days. They don't just want one particular channel. They want a whole world of different things and different opportunities.
Brilliant. Mark, thank you very much.
Thank you.